Have you ever thought about a piece of art so powerful, so deeply, profoundly unsettling, that it could actually break your mind just by looking at it? Well, today we're diving into a work of fiction that's built entirely around that idea. It's a story about a story, a forbidden play so strange, so terrifying, that its words are like a virus for the soul. So, let's just start with a little piece of the play itself, just a fragment from the first act. I mean, seems simple enough, right? A typical conversation at some fancy masquerade ball. But watch how fast it twists. "We all have laid aside disguise but you." And the stranger's reply, "I wear no mask." And suddenly, that simple scene just plummets into this moment of pure cosmic horror. Think about it. A guest who isn't wearing a costume. A face that isn't a face. This is our first little peek into the abyss. The first clue that reality is, maybe not as solid as we think it is. That last line just hangs there. No mask. No mask.
So what is this thing? What's the source of all this madness? Well, it's not a ghost. It's not some monster hiding in the closet. It's actually something you can hold in your hands. A simple physical object that holds this awful and absolutely irresistible power. Yeah. At the end of the day, the source of all this mind-shattering terror is just a book. 2 acts bound in paper. Now, the first act is supposedly pretty harmless, almost boring, really. It's designed to draw you in, make you feel safe. But that second act? Oh, that's where the poison is. It's said to hold a truth so completely alien, so against everything we understand about the universe, that the human mind just can't handle it. It fractures. It breaks. And just look at the kind of reaction this book gets out of people. It's not this slow burn of curiosity. It's a violent, gut-level rejection. One character reads that first act, and on some primal level, he understands the danger. So what does he do? He throws the book into the fire. But the book is a trap. Even as the pages are burning, the words of the second act catch his eye, and that is all it takes. In that 1 second, horror gets mixed up with this weird, ecstatic joy, and his disgust just melts away into this unbreakable need to know. And this need, this compulsion, it just leads to a total system failure of sense and emotion. The person reading it isn't just scared. They're overwhelmed. They're weeping and laughing at the same time, trembling with a kind of horror that, as he says, never really goes away. The experience is so reality-bending that all normal human feelings just sort of merge into this one terrifying, joyful state of being. But see, The King in Yellow doesn't just scare you. It doesn't just make you sad. It gets inside, and it fundamentally rewires who you are. The narrator of the story describes this total personality flip. This lazy, directionless guy becomes energetic, focused, ambitious. But this isn't a good thing. It's not self-improvement. His new ambition is warped, twisted by the awful knowledge he got from that play. The book basically hollows you out and then builds something totally new, something other, in your place. And this is the real kicker. The play's power doesn't come from lies. It's not propaganda. It's not just a scary story. Its horror comes from truth. It shows you things about reality, about the universe, that are so fundamentally wrong, so alien to our tiny human brains, that we literally cannot process them without breaking. The madness isn't a delusion. It's a symptom of seeing things exactly as they really are, and that is a terrifying thought. So this madness, it's not just something that happens inside your head. It leaves a mark, a physical symbol that connects everyone who's been touched by the play's terrible truth. Suddenly, you're part of something. You're joined together by this secret sign, a key to a door you never even knew was there. And this is the question that starts to follow them around. Have you found the yellow sign? It's like a password, whispered between those in the know. It's a way of recognizing a shared, awful enlightenment. It's basically asking, have you seen it too? Do you understand the horror? Are you one of us now? And this is the sign itself. It's described as a symbol that's from no human language. It's not Arabic, it's not Chinese, it's just completely alien. And it shows up on this little bit of jewelry, a simple clasp made of black onyx. The object itself is almost boring, but the symbol it's carrying is a carrier, a vector for the madness of the play. It's a physical piece of that corrupting knowledge. And here's a perfect example of its power. The sign doesn't need any explanation. In one scene, a character is just handed the sign on a scrap of paper. He has no idea what it is, but his reaction is instant. It's instinctual. He treats this little drawing with this weird, almost holy reverence, a kind of hypnotic focus. Just seeing it is enough to plant the seed. The madness has already begun. But here's the thing.
The play and the sign, they aren't the ultimate source of this madness. They're just the invitations. They're gateways. They're pointing towards something else, some entity that sits at the very center of this whole unraveling reality.
That is the central mystery, isn't it? Who, or maybe more accurately, what, is the king in yellow? The story never gives us a straight answer. We don't get a clear description or a motive or a history. All we get are these terrifying little fragments, these fleeting glimpses of a being whose very existence is a threat to sanity itself.
The clues we get are so sparse, but every single one is just dripping with dread. Okay, so his mantle is tattered. That doesn't just suggest royalty, it suggests ancient decay. A power so old, it's literally falling apart. He wears the pallid mask, which of course means something is being hidden, something so awful that a mortal couldn't look at it. The mask itself is pale, lifeless. Then he's called an emperor among emperors, which sets up this terrifying cosmic pecking order where our world is just some forgotten little town in his massive decaying empire. And finally, he dwells in a lost city, which tells us he's not from around here. He is an alien monarch, and he's waiting.
And this is the reaction he gets. It's not worship, it's not awe. It is just pure, unfiltered terror. This is a desperate prayer to be ignored, to be spared. Because anyone who knows about the king in yellow knows that to get his attention means total and complete annihilation.
So, the last piece of this whole puzzle of madness isn't a person, it's not a book, it's a place. The home of the king. The source from which this terrible truth flows. A lost alien city named Carcosa.
Really, the only description we ever get of this place is from a poem inside the play, a little thing called Casilda's Song. And right away, the landscape is just impossible. Not one sun, but two of them. A sky where the clouds move like ocean waves. You know immediately this is a place built on alien rules. A world that kind of looks like ours, but is just fundamentally wrong.
The whole cosmology of the place is backward. The stars aren't little points of light in the darkness, they're black holes in the sky. The moons are strange, the night itself is alien. The poem is basically telling us that even in a universe filled with weird things, Carcosa is something else. It is the capital city of strange.
And there he is again. The place is tied directly to the king. The tatters of the king flap in its winds, but it is a place of absolute silence, of entropy. Even the songs of the stars themselves can't survive there. They just die unheard. It paints a picture of this profound, cosmic emptiness, a place where sound and light and life all go to die.
The poem just ends on this note of total despair. It's giving up. It's surrendering to the decay that Carcosa is. The song of your soul dies. Even the tears you never cried will just dry up and die there. Everything just ends unheard and unseen in lost Carcosa.
So that's what we're left with. A forbidden play, a hypnotic symbol, a terrifying, unknowable king, and a dead city where black stars rise. It's a mythology that isn't built to be understood, it's built to be felt, like an infection of an idea that gets into the reader. Which, I guess, brings us to the final thought. After all this, after everything you've just heard, knowing that it promises nothing but madness, a madness born from an unbearable truth, if that book appeared in front of you, right now, could you really resist opening the second act?